improper fractions and mixed numbers. Now, just so you know, this is not a large portion of our course, but we have to cover it. So, just some definitions first. An improper fraction is a fraction with a numerator larger than the denominator. That means the top number is bigger than the bottom one. And that tells you that the value of the fraction is more than 1. A mixed number is a number that has a whole number part and a fraction part. So, generally speaking, however your question is asked, that's how you should answer it. If the question has fractions, you don't want to answer it with a decimal. You want to give a fraction answer. If a question starts with mixed numbers, you want to reflect that in the answer. Just keep the language that you're speaking for the problem and the answer. Generally speaking, we prefer improper fractions. They work better with technology and they're easier to work with by hand. But if you are pushed to give a mixed number answer, then by all means you should know how to do that. So first we're going to take an improper fraction and convert it to a mixed number. Now, the way that you do that is you figure out how many times the numerator would get divided by the denominator. So how many times does the bottom go into the top? Then, just stop right there. That's the whole number part of your mixed number. Whatever the leftover is, that's the top part of the fraction part of the mixed number. The denominator stays the same. Now, what does that mean in practice? So if I go to an example, I've got 14 over 5. I don't know what 14 over 5 is. I don't know how many times 5 goes into 14. That would give me a decimal answer. I do know it'll go 2 times evenly. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 goes into 14 2 times. That would be my whole number part. And then my mixed number part, or my fraction part, would be whatever the remainder was. If 5 goes into 14 twice, that's 10. I would have 4 left over, and I keep the denominator. Now that's a lot of head stuff. If you're not up to doing the head stuff, use your calculator, because again, you're allowed to have one. If I take 14 divided by 5 on my calculator and just get that answer, the answer the calculator gives me is 2.8. Now I don't want 2.8 for an answer because I want a fraction part. I need a mixed number. So the part that needs to be a fraction is the part after the decimal point. If I use my calculator and said 14 divided by 5, and I get 2.8 for an answer, what I actually want to do is I'm going to write down the 2, but on my calculator I'm going to subtract it off. So on my calculator screen, all I'm seeing now is the 0.8. Then I change that to a fraction. When I change 0.8 to a fraction, that tells me 4/5. So I don't have to do all the mental gymnastics. Let's try it again. 35 over 8. Now if I do this just using my calculator, because I'm tired, say 35 divided by 8 on your calculator gives me 4.375. Now you don't have to write that down. I'm writing this down for your notes. The part that I know is the whole number part of my answer is going to be 4. So I write the 4 down, but I subtract it off the calculator. So now the calculator screen is only showing me the 0.375. Use your calculator to convert that part to a fraction, and the fraction part of my mixed number will be 3/8. 42 divided by 15 gives me a whole number part of 2. Subtract that off and convert what's left to a fraction. And one more. 8 divided by 5 gives me a whole number part of 1. Subtract that off and convert what's left to a fraction. Now we want to convert a mixed number to an improper fraction, so we want to go the other way. Now to do that, I've got the directions here. It makes more sense when we do it, but you multiply the denominator of the fraction by the whole number, take that answer and add the numerator. That is your new numerator, and then you keep the denominator. So what that looks like in practice, if I can enlarge this 2 4/5, we kind of make a circle. You start at the bottom here, and I take 5 times 2 is 10. And then in my head, 10 plus 4 is 14. So 5 times 2 as I make the circle, then plus 4 gives me 14. And my denominator stays 5. 4 2/9. So again, I'm going to make it a little bigger. We start with a 9. 9 times 4, if you need your calculator, is 36. Over the top we add 36 plus 2 is 38. Keep the denominator. If you're feeling froggy, just pause here and see if you get the right answer and start me back up when you're finished. 7 and 7/8. We want to go 8 times 7 gives me 56. Then I need to add 7 to 56. That gives me a total of 63. And the denominator stays the same. One more, last chance to try it by yourself. Let's do it without the theatrics. Let's just go 3 times 20 is 60, plus 1 is 61, with a denominator of 3.